When I decided I wanted a six-pack and heard somewhere that abs are made in the kitchen, I was around 14 years old. Since then, for about 10 years, I've made every diet mistake you can imagine. Now I see countless people making the exact same mistakes that I did. So in this video, we'll go through the worst diet mistakes people make so that you can finally get the beach body that you deserve. Let's get into it. Whenever you fail your diet, it makes it harder to start again because your body keeps the score. Your body knows how many times it lost against the attempt to get lean. And then it starts getting locked in your brain as something really stressful, something really difficult to achieve. And then you start thinking, well, maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's my genetics. Maybe it's only the people that take steroids or dedicate their whole life to the gym that get the kind of results that you see on screen, on movies. Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Just a normal guy. I live a normal life. I eat hamburgers and sushi and ice cream. I work out 3 times a week, but I'm able to get lean because I don't make mistakes like this that I'm going to talk about. It's just about knowing what to do. So let's get into it. What's the number one biggest mistake? It's that you try to go too fast and you opt for drastic measures. Now, it's really interesting when people ask for diet advice, like literally psychologically, they want something drastic and restrictive. What they want to hear from me when they ask, how do I get to 10% body fat? How do I get lean? Is like, you just have to not eat sugar. You just have to cut out carbs. You have to go low fat. You have to just fast and not eat until 4 p.m. People are expecting drastic measures and they want drastic, rapid results, which is why those how I lost fat in 30 days, these videos tend to do well on YouTube, because as humans, naturally, we're inclined to be drawn to things where it's like low effort and big reward. Why do you think liposuction costs thousands of pounds as opposed to like gym membership, which is way cheaper? Because the first one, you don't have to put in effort. Now, the problem is our body doesn't like that. Our evolutionary body really does not like rapid changes to the body, and it will do everything in its power to stop those changes in terms of the hormonal balance, in terms of giving you hunger spikes, in terms of just making you feel bad if you suddenly cut down on your calorie intake, for example. So the number one mistake that people make is they see summer coming up, they're like, oh my god, or they see their love handles coming up, oh my god, drastic measures, punishing their body in order to change. This is the fastest way to bounce back. It's in fact probably one of the biggest reasons why people fail on their diet. Let's go on to the next point. Do you restrict certain ingredients entirely? I think when I was growing up, it was fat that was bad. Fatty food is bad. Fatty food makes you fat. Now it's all the hate on carbs. I don't think anyone really hated on protein because people know protein you need for muscle building and recovery, but now it's all about carbs are bad. So you say no carb, no fat, low fat diet, no meat, no this, no that. All of this restriction where you cut out something completely, you're almost setting yourself up to fail, because you're actually creating a framework where you need to put in effort in order to cut that thing out. Imagine if I said to myself, I'm never going to have carbs again. How am I going to sustain that? Like, I'm Asian, I'm Korean, I love sushi, nigiri, I love fried rice, I love kimchi jjigae, I love all kinds of carbs, and suddenly I say I want to get shredded, so I'm not going to have carbs. How long do you think that's going to last? And what do you think is going to happen when I eventually fail on that plan and have a pain au chocolat or a croissant when I go to Paris? What do you think happens? My internal psyche starts to go into conflict, starts to go into guilt. It creates guilt, like, oh my god, I failed. Oh my god, what kind of person am I that I can't even control what I eat? See, self-hate, self-blame, releasing cortisol, all the wrong hormones that is gonna make me binge eat even more. So don't try these cutting out completely diets that you cannot sustain for the rest of your life. Much better than restricting certain ingredients is maybe restricting the time window, the feeding window, and opting for some formulation of fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day or whatever formulation of fasting that you do. I find that that is much more effective and more in line with the evolutionary body than just cutting out a macronutrient or just anything completely. Like, no chocolate, no dessert. This is not to say you can just live without discipline. I hope you understand the nuanced point here. Let's get on to the third biggest mistake. You do not plan your meals in advance. You're at the whim of friends and family and the restaurant on the street and the feeling that you get. You see an advertisement, you're like, it's fried chicken. Oh my god, tonight it's fried chicken. I used to live like this pretty much all my 20s, where I'm just like lounging Netflix, doing whatever with my friends. Oh, should we get some Indian? Yeah, let's order some Indian. Let's get some biryani. Let's order some Chinese. Let's order some pizza. It's 2 for Tuesday. Like all these just random impulsive decisions to eat something, they never result well because A, you don't know the caloric content, B, it's usually processed food, C, they don't really have the right setup of nutrients in terms of the protein to carb to fat balance to really help you in getting lean, dropping fat, and building muscle. It also creates a lot of decision fatigue where you let yourself get too tired and then you just impulsively decide something, and you usually overeat when you do that because you left it too late. Contrarily, if you're someone that has already thought about what he's gonna have for lunch and dinner tomorrow, because you always pretty much have that. I always have nowadays some salad or some boiled eggs for lunch and then a massive Korean dinner. I usually have steak as my main source of protein or some chicken breast, you know, sometimes fish, but it's usually the same meals and just changing a couple side dishes, changing a couple main protein sources, but nothing too drastic. That's the difference between the people that just know how to get lean and the people that always struggle. Plan your meals in advance. 4, you shy away from weight training. You shy away from resistance training, I should say. A lot of people, when they go for diet or try to lose weight, they think cardio, they think high intensity training. Why? Because you sweat, your heart rate's up, you feel like you exercise, woohoo, it feels good, right? I've said in countless videos, and science has my back on this, weight training is the way to go. To be more precise, strength training geared towards muscle building, staying in the 4 to 8 rep range. This is ideal accompaniment to your fat loss journey because you will maintain muscle, you will build muscle, and muscle tends to burn more calories than fat just purely existing. What does that mean? That means your body's naturally going to burn more calories because it has more muscle. That means you can eat what you love a little bit more and still be losing weight. That's why muscle training, resistance training is the best accompaniment to a calorie deficit. If you don't understand how to go about the muscle building process, how to do the resistance training, there's countless videos on my channel where I go into this, but this is the number one thing. Do not shy away so much from weight training or resistance training. If you're really scared of going to the gym, I'll do another video on like gym anxiety because a lot of people actually told me like, you know, all these like freakish gym bros, I feel like an anxious zoo animal when I go to the gym. What do I do? I'll do a separate video on that. If you're into that, you know, hit the subscribe button. Basically, if you're too scared to go in the gym, you got to start with bodyweight training. Best case scenario, just find a gym. All the gym bros are actually secretly nice guys, so hit the gym. Don't shy away from it. Next biggest mistake, you do too much cardio. It's an extension of the same point, but cardio just makes you hungry. Cardio makes you hungry enough that you eat more than what your cardio burnt. That's the simplest way of explaining cardio. Cardio you can divide into slow state cardio, steady state cardio, or high intensity cardio. The things where you go is high intensity. The things where you just kind of chill, that's steady state. Like walking, like croquet with your grandma and her friends, you know, gentle floating in the sea, burns a lot of calories and just doesn't give you this massive craving at the end of it. The next is you do not keep track of your weight for constant feedback. I know the anxiety that comes when you step on the scale, so this is the reason why a lot of people will actually not measure their weight. They're scared to get the feedback. They've eaten too much the night before, so they're scared to go up on the scale and be told off by the scale. I know that feeling very, very well. The only way to get rid of that is not to just measure your weight once every 2 weeks or once every 2 months so as to avoid that initial discomfort, but it's to actually measure your weight at the same time every day so that you get direct feedback. You're like, wait, I ate that, but my weight's actually fine. Oh, I changed this little thing and my weight's gone up a little bit. You start collecting knowledge. You start collecting data about your body, how your body responds to certain kinds of food, how much water you hold at certain periods of the day. You start to understand yourself better. What gets measured gets accomplished. Do not neglect this. Any serious person who's trying to lose weight, you gotta bring the measurement down. Measure your weight, and even better, measure your calories, measure your steps as well. Next, the final one, guys, is you guess calories. How I lost weight without counting calories. Everybody's starting to guess. Oh, this is probably this much. This is probably this much. Oh, you read on the package it's 365. Then another food. Oh, it's probably compared to the hot dog, it's probably about double. So that's 700. You start eyeballing. You start making it very, very vague, and you get vague results. I've actually said this in many of my other videos, so I'm feeling very repetitive right now, but the reason I'm repeating it is because it's so important. It's like these boring tips of where you actually track, where you actually keep yourself accountable with the data and the numbers. That's what's going to bring you the real results. All right, so those were the 7 worst mistakes that everyone makes when they want to lose fat when they're going on a diet. If you take some of these and apply it to your life, you're going to have some serious improvements in your fat loss journey. I hope this video helped you guys. Please subscribe or share this video with someone that can be helped by it, and otherwise see you in the next video.